It was only during the mid-1980s that RPG video games were starting to take off. While you did have the big ones like Super Mario Bros. And Metroid, you also had humble little games on the side, such as Swords and Serpents and The Bard's Tale, that, while not popular, were still great games. Another one of these action RPG games was Faxanadu or Faxanadu, however you want to pronounce it. So one of the first glaring problems with the game comes right before you even start playing. The intro. Yeah, it's nice the first time around, but after a while, you really want to skip it. And another thing, what's with the color scheme? Are we in a video game or some vintage photograph world? Anyways, once you get more into the game, you'll start to see some more colors besides muddled browns and greens. So in Faxanadu, the player controls an obscure drifter who upon arrival at his hometown finds that it's abandoned and practically in ruins. After talking with the king, he is dispatched on his journey to defeat the evil one and restore peace to the land. Not bad for an NES game, but certainly not something we haven't seen before. So you start out in the village going building to building looking for something to do. Most of them are shops where you can buy weapons and potions and armor, but there is one building where you'll talk to a guy, he gives you a ring, you go to the king with the ring, he gives you 1,500 gold, you go to the karate master, get some health, purchase a key, buy a dagger, kill the monster, open the door, and you finally begin your journey. Yeah, it took me a while to figure all that out. But from then on, it's mostly just killing monsters, solving puzzles, and fighting bosses. And the RPG elements come in when you need to use a potion to replenish your health, or when you buy new weapons and armor. The game is a lot of fun, and it's not too cruel in terms of health and the amount of hits you can take. It's also surprisingly fun to fight enemies because each one requires a completely different attack plan, which definitely adds some variety and keeps the gameplay fresh. Also, like I said before, once you begin your journey, the colors start to become more vibrant and the game just looks more interesting overall. Controls in this game work well for the most part and are pretty responsive. To jump, you press the A button. To attack, the B button. Select brings up the menu where you can use items. Start pauses the game, and the D-pad moves you around. The only problem I found here was that to jump forwards, and not just straight up, the player has to be moving in that direction before you jump. So if you're standing still and you jump, you can't move in midair. You're just locked in that position. This can be especially frustrating when the player has to make a difficult leap to a platform, and there's a monster on the other side. Another problem with the game is that there's no save battery on the cartridge, and Faxanadu is a long game, but at least they had the courtesy to integrate a password system. And I suppose a saving problem is acceptable, because it was relatively new technology at the time. The graphics in the game are pretty polished, and look very detailed for an NES game. Same goes for the music, which always sets the mood for the type of area you're in. Overall, Faxanadu was a game that deserved more success and popularity than it actually received. And although it's not my favorite, it's still a game worth experiencing, even today.